All right, Joe Walker here. I'm back. This time we are at a different property we manage. We're about to gather eggs and check on these birds, move the shelters at our third flock, or I guess actually in terms of age, this would be our second flock. There's 250 birds in here, and we basically run them just the same. I mean, these, as you can see, these pastures, we've been here for, I don't know, 4 years now, I think. And these pastures have improved dramatically. It's been quite an amazing transformation. I don't know if you can see over there, there's our cattle and sheep at the moment where we got them combined into a single flood. So there's the layers current paddock where the white shelter is, previous paddock right in front of this solar charger, and this would have been 3 paddocks ago. So as you can see, I mean, this is pretty much ready to graze again, you know. But the cattle and sheep are actually going that way, so this will still get, oh man, if I had to guess, we're talking about 60, probably 45 days rest before the cattle come back on this. And that's actually right on the other side is their most recent paddock that I moved them off of yesterday. But anyhow, I'll show you all this solar charger that we use periodically. So a lot of times I tap off of the perimeter fence just the same, but this particular situation, the solar charger was here, it was available. So we basically just made this off of out of a garden cart from Lowe's. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 T-handle ground rods that I picked up from Premier One. I got the long ones. I can't remember exactly how long they are, but they had 2 sizes. We got the long ones. I figured that way I don't have to push them all the way into the ground. I can if I'm able to, if we've gotten a lot of rain, but most of the time you just push them halfway in the ground. That's enough with 4 of them. So we got a 100-watt solar panel that's hooked up to our solar charge controller. I think that one came from Tractor Supply, a little Coleman kit, and that's our speed rate 6,000. Not sure how many joules that is, but it's a good one. So the panel goes to the charge controller, and the speed rate goes to the battery. The battery goes to the charge controller. That keeps the battery from being overcharged, and we run the deep cycle simply because it can discharge a lot more and still be able to recharge, unlike a typical automotive battery. So yeah, and we pretty much got the kit. It's been a little modified since we had to change the charge controller, but I actually originally got the kit from American Grazing Lands, which is oh gosh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's phenomenal. I've talked about him on his minerals quite a bit, his mineral program, Remineralizing the Cattle. He wrote the book Red Solo Cup Cow, I believe. But anyway, I'll remember his name or look it up and link it in the description here. But he runs the American Grazing Land site. This was the original charge controller that come with the kit, which was the solar panel charge controller and that speed rate charger. And then we purchased the battery, and they had options on carts. We decided to go with this garden cart just because it's pretty heavy duty. The one from Lowe's, actually, this Cobalt one, the 100-watt panel fits in there perfectly to where we could just put this piece of a broke post in there, tie it down to prop it up, and that actually keeps the charger and the battery dry. But yeah, so then the ground comes out, connects to this ground. It's all alligator clamped together. Not sure what kind of reel that is, Gallagher or whatnot, but I got lazy last time I moved the chickens, and I didn't want to move the charger or break down the netting, so I just left it and hooked the charger up. But this solar charger at the moment is powering this, which is 1, 2, 3, 7 nettings, I believe. 7 nettings and the single wire that we have running for the sheep. So let me grab my egg crate and we'll take a look at this, the third flock of the day anyway. So yeah, ideally we'd only run 1 flock. You know, I mean, when you're kind of doing it like us, I mean, we want to impact as much land as possible, and birds have such an amazing impact on the land as far as adding fertility. Part of that is the amount of feed they consume. So, you know, you think you're feeding 100 pounds a day. Well, there's a lot of NPK in that chicken feed, and not only that, you run it through a chicken first, and you're adding the whole microbiological factor, you know, because you got the feed and the enzymes and everything coming out through the waste of the chicken. So basically the same. We got our hen gear nest boxes, you know, the roll out nest boxes, keep the eggs nice and clean. We gather the eggs every day. So I should have pointed out that water, but all the way back where we started is the water tower, and it's basically just, I'm gonna try to zoom. Can't really zoom, but it's 2 IBC totes. So, and they're full. So the one on the bottom is empty. I just got the one on top full of water. That's to give it a little height to gravity feed, because we actually have water hose running. This would be about a little over 300 feet from here to the water tower. So we got 300 foot of garden hose running to another one of these drinkers with the float valve in it that keeps them watered. I have to move that tote. Probably not for a while, actually. That tote can probably sit there for several weeks before the chickens end up getting, you know, to where it just doesn't make sense to run hose, and then we'll move it. So this is a much larger paddock. We actually, I don't know, circumstances being what they were, we created the larger paddock. And same structures. Here I have 5 of them, which is way more than enough roost space, but you can really cram the roost space in tight. But the problem is when you're running them out here wide open, especially where we're at in Georgia, it gets hot, you know, and we've never really, in this system, we haven't really lost many birds to cold weather. We've lost a lot more due to the heat in the summer. So that's why I decided to put 5 of these shelters. So there's well over a square foot of shaded space per bird. And I think that's pretty important to keep these girls happy and healthy. And with the flock of 250, we use the big range feeders. Only 2 of them. I only have 2 of them, and that's mainly, you could fit enough feed in here for several days with 1 of them, but we want to spread them out. You know, I don't want all 250 chickens coming to the same spot for feed. So we use 2 of them. We try to move them when they're empty. So these got a little bit of feed, enough for the rest of the day. I will probably bring out 10 bags tomorrow, because that's what I can fit in here. This one's almost empty, so that'll be perfect. It's getting late in the day. It's almost 3 o'clock. So there's enough in here to finish out the day. So tomorrow I'll make sure to get here with 10 bags, so 5 in each feeder. And what I'll do is, while they're empty, I'll move the feeders over here against the fence line that's heading in the direction of what's going to be their next paddock. So their next paddock is going to be back up this way. So what I'll do is I'll move those feeders while they're empty all the way up here close to this fence line. I can just pull my truck right here, fill them up, and that'll get them through for about 5 days. So 10 bags of feed, which is 500 pounds, will get the 250 birds through for about 5 days. Well, they're not going to spend 5 days in this paddock. So this is their second day. Tomorrow will be their third day. They'll come over here in this direction. But I don't want to have to move those feeders that far. So that's why I'm going to put them here, because I will have to move them with feed in them. I could time it and bring less feed, but if I get them close to the netting, it's just as easy. I'd rather only have to make one trip out here with feed. So we'll fill them up right here. Once they move the birds over here, I'll just be able to slide them a few feet right across to the other side of the netting and not have to bring out feed again. So that's pretty much it. This is the last flock, and they're about 6 months younger than the flock that we're selling right now. So we probably will start selling these here in another 6 months. Oh, love that. There's a cow pie, nice and scratched up. Chickens have been in there going after bugs, but I'm gonna gather these eggs and move these shelters and then go check on the cattle and sheep. Thanks for watching, guys.